For that recap. Now let's switch gears. The Dow is slowly bouncing back after one of its worst days in nearly a year. It plunged more than 1,200 points earlier this morning. And joining us now is Jake Richards with the Retirement Solution. Jake, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, let's jump right into this and start off with what we're seeing on Wall Street. The three major indices are down more than a percentage point right now. Do investors need to be worried about this?
Yeah, well, it really comes down to the type of investing you're into. I would say, yes, it's a concern, but it's mainly a concern for short-term investors or retirees. Long-term investors don't have as much of a reason to be worried because these conflicts tend to stabilize over time. But if you're a short-term investor or a retiree or currently taking income, then it would be a reason for a major concern, because as the market goes down and taking money in a down market, that can really compound an issue. So to wrap that up, if you're a short-term investor, there's a pretty big reason for concern right now with all the volatility. But if you're a long-term investor, just hang tight, and it's just another conflict that will tend to stabilize over time.
All right, so just keep an eye on it. Well, the stock market opened with sharp losses yesterday as well, but ended up with a slight gain. Should we kind of expect the same thing to rebound today?
Yeah, it's tough to say, and these are the times I wish I kind of had a crystal ball, right? You know, if I could see into the future, I could know for certain. The point is there's a lot of volatility in the market, but as investors tend to get a little bit more info, then things tend to stabilize. You know, buyers make decisions based off the info they have. So as we get more info, as this continues to develop, we will certainly find out more. But again, we don't have a crystal ball to say for sure. But as we get more info, it'll stabilize.
Yeah, and we continue to watch it and hope that it goes the way we want it to go. But prices for us here could maybe start to jump around. We already have seen just a little jump in gas prices. Do you think that will continue?
Yeah, naturally, during these conflicts, all industries are pretty impacted price-wise, so we can expect prices to go up as a whole. Ever since the rumors with Iran started, we've seen a natural and gradual increase in prices over the last few weeks. So I certainly think that's possible and not going away. You know, they're a major oil producer, and as this conflict continues and develops, especially as it's looking like it will go on weeks now, we could expect those to continue to not only be volatile, but possibly increase.
Yeah, and we also know President Trump just announced he wants to cut off all trade with Spain because they did not allow the U.S. to use its bases for the conflict with Iran. And, you know, what could this mean for prices at the grocery store and things like that?
Yeah, so that's actually a really interesting point. And with Spain specifically, I don't see a lot coming down the pipeline in terms of prices at the grocery store for everyday consumers, because Spain isn't a main exporter for our grocery system. Now, things like olive oil or wine or more specialty imports could see a lot more price fluctuation, things that are harder to get your hands on. But for more common items, I wouldn't foresee it being a huge issue. Now, that being said, if other countries do decide to join in with this, then it could become potentially a much larger issue.
Yeah, it could be problematic for a lot of people. Overall, Jake, what is your message for the American people?
Just hang tight. You know, situations like these come and go. We've seen a lot of these situations throughout the history of the stock market. And just to remember that it's all about volatility. People take news today and react immediately, even though the stock market today is a reflection of a culmination of items over the last, quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters. So hang tight. If you're short-term invested, it's a reason to be concerned. But for those who are long-term invested, just hang tight. This will work itself out. And, the volatility will continue, but it will work itself out.
All righty. Jake Richards with the Retirement Solution. Thank you so much for your insight today.